Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having a great day. As you can see, I am ready to get a little dirty. So today I am doing just some basic maintenance. Whether you own a car, a truck, a side-by-side, a mini bike, there's always maintenance that needs to be done. And one thing I absolutely hate is squeaks. As I've gone through before and we have fixed, we have fixed a lot of the squeaks. So I cannot stand the squeaks and rattles and the creaks if I can help it. So one thing I will be doing today is I am going through and I am going to re-grease the brakes and I am going to re-grease the bearings. So my last video that I did, your wheel bearings need grease too, I got some comments saying you don't need to do it, I'm wasting my time, it's a waste of money, they're sealed. Kind of. If they're so sealed, then how come water intrusion gets in there and they will rust? So all you're doing when you do grease these bearings is you're actually filling the whole cavity with grease. You're pushing out any water or dirt, and the grease will take up an area where the water can get in. So yeah, I'm not technically greasing the inside of the bearing. What I am doing is I am keeping water from seeping in, because even though they're sealed, they're not 100% sealed. So today I'm going to do a brake inspection. I'm going to grease the bearings and just do some general overlook of the Pioneer. So go ahead and stay tuned. So first thing I'll do is I will take off my wheel hub. And then I will go ahead and I will break the caliper off. It's a 17 millimeter and a 12 millimeter. So real quick before I do that, I want to check, make sure this isn't overly tight. Still got some room up here, so we're going to fix that too. So one thing I've noticed on these brakes is when I am at full lock, even though I try not to do that, this right here is a little tighter than I like. But you notice up here we got lots of room. So what you can do is right down there, I can loosen this and slide the whole clamp over and give this just another ½ inch so it won't be so tight. So we're going to go ahead and address that too. Set that up there. So as you can see, there's plenty of lining in these brake pads with 2,300 plus miles, but we are going to grease them so there will be no more squeaking. Pull this off, lots of clean grease. But when you look in here, this is what greasing that wheel bearing does. It keeps all this contaminants from inside. So when I re-grease this, it'll push all that stuff out. So let's go ahead and get this cleaned up and get that done. So for everything inspected, everything cleaned up, I still need to adjust this bolt up here. But one thing I wanted to show everyone is if you ever need to replace your caliper, it's just these 4 bolts here, they're hex heads. So you can actually buy a new caliper. As you can see, I've had mine laying on the ground. So we'll clean this up before we put the brake pads back on. The reassembly is pretty straightforward. It's just reverse. We'll spin this on. Then I will get the torque wrench and torque it down here in a minute. Okay. Then we'll put the cotter pin in. And we'll just bend that up. Then we will take the holder for the caliper, take 2 bolts, and put some Loctite on them. Just a little bit goes a long way. this in, and we will start these. And I will get the torque wrench and torque these down. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to install the original brake pads. Again, if you look, there's lots of material there. I put a little bit of grease and they just slide in right like this. Make sure you don't get any grease on your rotor assembly. There we go. And the last thing you'll do is you will take your actual caliper, which I've already pushed the pistons back in the cylinders. And we will line this up, get a little bit of Loctite in the bolts, and then get those torqued down. So the last thing that we're going to do is I'm going to take this off and I'm going to adjust it, because I want to give this brake line another 1/2 inch. I got lots of room up here. It's a little taut down there. It's just a 10 millimeter. And unfortunately, you gotta take the whole thing off. And just this extra 1/2 inch will help quite a bit. Well, I got this side finished up. Just need to get the tire back on. I got the rears to do. No need to bore you guys with that. But one thing I do like to do when I have the wheels and tires off, whether I'm doing maintenance, checking the brakes, greasing something, is I like to look around the whole engine bay. I do have my big LED flashlights, and I actually did find something. I found the locking nut that goes on the 12-volt outlet that comes factory underneath the dash was loose, and it was rattling around, and that just drives me up a wall. So I went ahead, I found that, I fixed that. It just took just a few seconds to get up there and tighten it up. It had completely come off and was just vibrating on the wire. So maintenance is not the fun part of owning any vehicle for most people. Fortunately, I enjoy working with my hands. I enjoy working on this stuff, and I have no issues coming out, taking something apart just for fun. By keeping up on your maintenance, your vehicle will last a lot longer. I know it's a Honda. I know it should last forever, but you still got to do just the regular maintenance, and then I happen to go above and beyond, double checking everything and keeping it clean. Another deal is keeping it clean. Nobody likes working on a dirty vehicle, and even though this in my eyes is dirty, before I put all this back together, I'll get some degreaser. I will clean this up. I will re-grease all my grease certs, and I will check all my lines once again, even though I just did it last week. So maintenance, it's got to be done. Squeaks and rattles, can't stand them. So don't forget to give me a big thumbs up if you like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Until next time.